welcome to all of you.
This meeting is being recorded.
I welcome to all of you on behalf of Association for Social and Economical Equality. I especially welcome today's guest, Mr. Mallepalli Laxmaiah. His renowned personality and defining experience in many sectors for the benefit of the society. He is our today's speaker, and sir, I welcome to you for today's webinar. Next, I welcome to Dr. Sukhadeo Thorat sir. He is the chairman for today's function, and from last about 78 webinars, he is continuously organizing the webinars and he's taking the pain for that. I welcome to Dr. Sukhadeo Thorat sir. I welcome to Dr. Vimal Thorat madam. He is inspiring to us for each and every seminar. Again, among the participants, Dr. Thangaraj is there. Dr. Thangaraj is there. Nutan Mallepalli is there. Vidya Chourpagar, Dr. Virendra, Dr. Harish Bavangade, Mrs. Shura Darapuri, and Dr. Gautam Kamble, Alka Patil, Prashant Dalimkar is there. I welcome to all of you. And I welcome our respectable guest also. And we will start today's program. Today's webinar, the topic of today's webinar is closely relevant and will get we more insight of the history for Dalit movement and present relevance. Today we are going to share the views of our learned speaker on anti-caste movement in Adi-Andhra. He is having a defining experience and active social activist. Sir, our target audience is mostly academicians from colleges and university. Just we have completed 78 webinars on various relevant topics. I will quote few topics for concern. Are the present policies for Dalits is enough and relevant? This is one topic. Achyutananda and Sant Ravidas, anti-caste and untouchability movement. Maharaja Sayajirao Gaikwad, annihilation and untouchability. Caste stratifications among the Indian Muslims. Scheduled caste Sikh and issue of social exclusion. Struggle of Dalit Christian against the caste, etc. These are the topic, relevant topic. We have conducted last few webinars on this. And today's topic is pre-independence, anti-Andhra, anti-caste movement and its contemporary relevance. स्वतंत्रता पूर्व आदि आंध्रा में जाति विरोधी आंदोलन और उसका समकालीन संबंध. रोल ऑफ सोशल रिफॉर्मर मीन आंध्रा के इतिहास में जो समाज सुधारक होके गए हैं और उन्होंने जो हिस्ट्री क्रिएट की है, आज हमें चलने के लिए पाथ बना के गए हैं, तो वी शुड डेफिनेटली रिमेंबर देम फॉर देयर वैल्यूएबल वर्क which provide base for work for us. Mr. Bhagya Reddy, yes Verma, Venkat Rao, Shayam Sunder, Arigye Radhesham, and Kusuma Anna. They are the social reformers among the Andhra. Our today's speaker needs no introductions because he has proven capability. His work and foresighted look towards the development of the society on thoughts of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is well established. As a formal process of our webinar, I request to Mr. Pawan Khadse. He is a student of MSW in Tata Institute of Social Science, Mumbai. Please introduce our today's honorable guest, Mr. Mallepalli Laxmaiah. Please. Pawan, can you hear me?
Sir, Pawan join करायचा आहे तोपर्यंत introduction part सरांचा क्रम असतो.
Okay, no problem. Yeah. Again, I welcome to all of you, all respectable participants and our delegates and our guests. And I request Dr. Sukhadeo Thorat sir for introductions of today's topic. Dr. Thorat sir, please.
Yeah. Jai Bhin to all of you. During the last couple of seminar, we have focused on the anti-caste and anti-untouchability movement in different parts of India. We had a lecture of Baba Bhand on the role of Sayajirao Gaikwad in Maharashtra as well as in Gujarat. Then we had lecture by Suradara Pure on the role of Achyutananda and Ravidas in northern India. in that series, we are going to listen to Mallepalli Laxmaiah on the Adi-Andhra movement, another reformer in Andhra Pradesh before independence and on the eve of independence. And he will also share its relevance today. We are going to have two more lectures, one on role of Basveshwara on Karnataka, in Karnataka, two speakers will speak. And then Geeta will speak on the Ayati Das roles in anti-caste movement in Tamil Nadu. And this will be, I think, concluded by the role of Narayan Guru in Kerala. But we have today a very important person, Laxmaiah. I don't want to introduce him because there will be a formal introduction of his. But I may mention that he's one of the very towering person in Andhra Pradesh. He was a leading leader in creation of Telangana. He's active because he write a regular column for a newspaper, Sakshi, on all contemporary issue. I had an opportunity to write a foreword to one of his book. But more importantly, I think he has set up a center for Dalit studies with a beautiful building and a very big statue of Dr. Baba Ambedkar. And of course, he's leading a project where he's setting up a Buddhist, the replica of all the places in Andhra Pradesh and elsewhere. It is a big Buddhist place. I can see Aman Kamble has also joined, Dr. Hajare.
Yeah. Sir.
So I had requested Aman Kamble because Aman Kamble had interviewed Mallepalli Laxmaiah a couple of weeks before, very excellent interview. So in order to introduce Mallepalli about his work on Buddhism, creating Buddhist site, I requested him to give us a small bites on the documentary. So we have that. There is a full interview by Aman Kamble, but we will only show 1.5 minute snaps of the work that is being done at the Buddhist place. I think I am looking forward to listen to Mallepalli. He will give us the insight about the anti-caste movement in Andhra Pradesh. I think with this I will stop and let us ask the concerned person to introduce him, and then we begin the lecture.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your small but very, valuable introductions. Now, Vidya madam.
Yes, sir. He is joined. Pawan is joined. Sir. Yes.
Should I request him to introduce our guest?
Yes, definitely, sir.
Dear friends, just I told you, he is a very tallest personality. He do not need any introductions. His work tells about him because in Andhra and Telangana, he is a leader of Telangana movement. He has done most of the work. Now Dr. Thorat sir told about him. And now Dr. Thorat sir is writing introductions for his book. He is very big personality. But as a formality, I request Mr. Pawan Khadse, who is a student of MSW, Tata Institute of Social Science, Mumbai. He will introduce our guest for today's lecture. Mr. Pawan, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Please carry. Please.
Thank you, Hajare sir, for the opportunity. So Mallepalli Laxmaiah sir. Yeah. So let me start with his journalistic career. So Mr. Mallepalli Laxmaiah is now a freelance journalist with over 20 years of experience. He have traveled 6 lakhs kilometers across the country and visited some of the remotest places in the India. He has used his journalistic abilities to investigate various issues related to the poor. He could become instrumental in highlighting atrocities, shortcomings in government interventions, and bringing state attention to key issues. Leading news dailies in Andhra Pradesh encourages his work and urges him to bring out specialties, specifically Dalit issues. This also increased the leadership of the publications. In his regular columns, columns appears in Andhra Jyoti, a leading daily while numerous articles are also published in district level newspapers also. So he was mentioned in Directory of Development Journalist in 2005, published by the 1963 founded New Delhi-based Press Institute of India, an independent non-profit society supported by newspapers of India. Mr. Mallepalli Laxmaiah is a freelance journalist, contributes for Andhra Jyoti, a Telugu daily, focuses on Dalit, tribal affairs and women's issues. Also working on a fellowship from a Dalit foundation in New Delhi. As roving correspondent for Vartha till 2001, his writing on the tribals and Dalits and the underprivileged changed the editorial complexion of the second largest Telugu daily published from Andhra Pradesh. Traveling some lakhs kilometers of the Naxalites infected area, North Telangana area, fiction-ridden Ralayasima district, and the tribal districts of Adilabad, Khammam, Visakhapatnam, Nallamala, and Bastar for 10 years. He brought out the maladies affecting the people of the era. He has done several news stories unraveling the conspiracy to keep Telangana backward. His extensive coverage of the problems of tribal brought succor to the people in the tribal tracts. His expose on the death of 2,200 tribals from cholera and gastroenteritis due to poor quality of potable water forced the government to build protected water supply structures in almost all the tribal settlements. From 2002 and 2007, he has worked as a freelance journalist for various major print and electronic media. From 2007 to 2009, he has he was the founder and input editor of HMTV Electronics in media. After achieving the state Telangana since 2014, he have been working as a columnist for a major print media, Sakshi. So he is also a membership in various bodies, member of various bodies as follows: co-chairman of the Joint Action Committee on Telangana, 2009 to 2014. He was president for 2 terms, Telangana Intellectual Forum, member National Council of Indian Journalist Union, member of Press Club Hyderabad, member of National Council of National Campaign on Dalit Human Rights. Also member of Advisory Board Dalit Praja Samiti, member of People Monitoring Committee for Dalit Development Programs, advisor of Dalit Women Theatre Hyderabad, secretary of Media and Publications Telangana Intellectual Forum Hyderabad, secretary Center for Media and Development Studies Hyderabad, president of Center for Dalit Studies Hyderabad, executive member of Parent Teachers Association Hyderabad Public School Begumpet Hyderabad. He has also membership in committees constituted by the Government of India, member of Declaration Drafting Committee, Bhopal Declaration, which charted out a 21-point action agenda for the 21st century for Dalit and Adivasis by the Government of Madhya Pradesh, 2002. He was also a member of Task Force Implementation of the Recommendations of Bhopal Declaration, Government of Madhya Pradesh, 2002. Member of Subcommittee on Land Distribution, wherein the Government of Madhya Pradesh distributed nearly 12 lakh of land to Dalits and Adivasis in 2002. He was also a key member of in designing process of Telangana Dalit Bandhu scheme initiated by Telangana government. Dalit Bandhu is a scheme under which each and every Dalit family of Telangana state will get 10 lakh rupees of assistance for starting their own business. This 10 lakh rupees is providing as a grant, not as a loan, where they don't have to pay it back anytime. He is also a recipient of many awards. The awards are fellowship from Dalit Foundation, New Delhi, for writing and articles in news dailies on Dalit issues. Bhagya Reddy Verma Award 2016 by MV Bhagya Reddy Verma Foundation. Bodhivardhana Award 2017 by Babasaheb Ambedkar Shat Mahotsav Samiti Trust Bangalore. Dr. Ambedkar Prabuddha Bharat Peace Prize 2019 by the Nagarjuna Training Institute, Naglok, Nagpur. His current position is Special Officer for Buddhavanam Project, Nagarjun Sagar in Nalgonda district. Also, Mallepalli Laxmaiah sir has been appointed as Buddhavanam Project, constituted a committee for Buddhavanam Project to transform into a noted tourist destination and attract Buddhist tourists from across the world. This project is being inaugurated on 14th of May 2022 by Honorable Minister Sri K.T. Ramarao Guru. Then sir is also a weekly columnist in Sakshi newspaper. Mallepalli sir offers a personal point of view on the social, political, and economic issues in that newspaper. He is also chairperson of Center for Dalit and Dalit Studies, as already mentioned. His previous work experience are as staff reporter, Suprabhatam from 1991 to 1998. To make it very brief, I will just like mention the books written by sir. The first is Dalit Paksham 1. Second book is Dalit Paksham 2. Third is Kotakonam. And fourth book is Mothe, Telangana Batuk Lata. Thank you so much for your patience. Over to you, sir. So you are not audible, sir.
Sir, unmute करा तुम्ही.
Thank you, Pawan. Sir, these are the only few points Pawan has noted, but we have a lot of work in your credit, sir. You have worked for Intellectual Forum. You have worked for Press.
Sir, that is very enough, sir.
Even you have worked for Naxalites and you have worked for Land Development Movement. So there are the huge
That's
work.
not the issue.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
And definitely our participants or delegates will benefited out of that. They will go inside with the problems and they will just. Sir, before start you, just we will show few events on the film itself for 2 minutes only. I am requesting Shuddhadan, please start the films. Shuddhadan, can you hear me? Yeah, please.
तेलंगाना के नलगोंडा जिले के नागार्जुन सागर के पास 274 एकड़ में बुद्धवन प्रोजेक्ट स्थापित है। यह एशिया का सबसे बड़ा बुद्धिस्ट थीम पार्क है। तेलंगाना पर्यटक विकास निगम द्वारा मल्लेपल्ली लक्ष्मैया सर के नेतृत्व में यह प्रोजेक्ट ऐतिहासिक हुआ है। इसमें अभी कई फेजेस है। अभी पहला फेज पूरा हुआ है। भगवान बुद्ध के समय तेलंगाना बुद्धमय हुआ था। भंते आचार्य बोधिसत्व नागार्जुन ने शून्यवाद तथा आयुर्वेद की स्थापना यहीं पर की। इस जगह का इतिहास में महत्वपूर्ण स्थान रहा है। बुद्धवनम को पूरा करने में कई लोगों का योगदान रहा है। बुद्धवन परियोजना के विशेष अधिकारी मल्लेपल्ली लक्ष्मैया ने कहा कि पूरे परिसर में एंट्रेंस प्लाजा, बुद्ध चरित वनम, जातक वनम, ध्यानम वनम, स्तूप वनम और महास्तूप सहित बुद्ध वनम के विभिन्न खंडों को आकर्षक पेड़ पौधों से सजाया जाएगा। यहाँ आकर आपको प्रसन्नता की अनुभूति होगी। देखिए बुद्धवन प्रोजेक्ट के स्पेशल ऑफिसर मल्लेपल्ली लक्ष्मैया से खास संवाद।
Sir, over to you, Mallepalli Laxmaiah, please.
Yeah, Hajare, if Aman has visited this place, if he can speak for 2 minutes about this, and then we ask Mallepalli to speak. We have been asking Laxmaiah to wait for a long, but
yeah.
This is the
Aman,
last.
can you speak few words? Aman?
Yes. Thank you for allowing me.
Please carry on, please.
Yes. First time, very much thankful to Mallepalli Laxmaiah sir कि उनके कारण हमें वहाँ जाने का मौका मिला और वहाँ पे जो बुद्धवनम प्रोजेक्ट अभी आपने देखा है, तो मैं सबसे गुजारिश करूंगा कि आप सब लोग जो अभी इस मीटिंग में शामिल हैं, आप सब लोग भी समय निकालकर इस प्रोजेक्ट को जरूर देखना चाहिए, क्योंकि विजुअलाइजेशन में जो इतना अच्छा दिखता है उससे भी बेहतर जो है आप जाने के बाद उसकी अनुभूति कर सकते हैं। क्योंकि ये फर्स्ट काइंड ऑफ इट्स प्रोजेक्ट है पूरे भारत में, नहीं पूरे साउथ एशिया में, कि इस तरह से एक सोच के तहत, एक विचार के तहत इसे बनाया गया है। और जो स्कल्पचर्स यहाँ पे रखे गए हैं, इतना बेहतरीन मैसेज देता है। क्योंकि अगर आपके पास कोई आता है, बुद्ध के पास में कोई आता है, तो उसे क्या मैसेज देना चाहिए, तो वो मैसेज आपको वहां से मिल सकता है। तो काफी अच्छे सोच के साथ, समझ के साथ ये प्रोजेक्ट बनाया गया है। और ये बहुत ही बेहतरीन प्रोजेक्ट मुझे लगा, क्योंकि यहाँ पे आने के बाद जो फील आपको होता है, जो एक अनुभूति आपको होती है, उसको आप शब्दों में बयां नहीं कर सकते। और सर ने काफी मेहनत करके, काफी डेडिकेशन के साथ, काफी कमिटमेंट के साथ में किया है। मुझे लगता है कि महाराष्ट्र के हम लोग इतने सालों से काम कर रहे हैं, वहां पे जाने के बाद मुझे जरूर ये फील हुआ, एहसास हुआ। मैंने दीक्षा भूमि कमेटी के लोगों को भी कहा कि आप लोगों ने भी एक बार जाके देखना चाहिए कि कितने खूबसूरत तरीके से बुद्ध वनम को बनाया गया है और कितने अच्छे तरीके से इसको मैनेज भी किया जा रहा है। तो ये मैं शब्दों में बहुत ज्यादा बयान नहीं कर सकता, लेकिन बहुत बहुत मंगल कामनाएं सर के प्रति देता हूँ। जो भी लोग इसके पीछे थे, जो जिन्होंने बुद्ध वनम को बनाने के लिए कार्य किया है, चाहे वो स्कल्पचर्स हो, चाहे आर्टिस्ट हो, जो भी लोग हो, इसके प्रति बहुत बहुत साधुवाद, मंगल कामनाएं। और सर आपने एक सोच दिया है, एक थीम दी है, एक विचार दिया है कि जो बुद्ध के थॉट है उसे कैसे रेप्लिकेट किया जाए, उसे कैसे लोगों तक पहुंचाया जाए। मैं जब वहां गया तो काफी मुस्लिम्स लोग भी मुझे दिखे, और सैटरडे संडे को तो काफी रश वहां पे होता है। तो बस मैं इतना ही कहना चाहूंगा कि आप लोग जरूर यहाँ पे जाइए और जरूर इस प्रोजेक्ट को देखिए। थैंक यू।
थैंक यू अमन, थैंक यू फॉर योर कमेंट्स। मैं एक कमेंट्स करता हूँ आपके स्पीच के ऊपर कि जो हम महाराष्ट्र में कर नहीं पाए वो लक्ष्मैया सर ने वहां पे करके
यस
दिखाया,
यस,
ऐसा मैं
जरूर।
कहना चाहूंगा उसके ऊपर। सर प्लीज, लक्ष्मैया सर प्लीज प्लीज कैरी ऑन।
Sir, thank you very much. Thank you for all, and Jai Bhim,
जय भीम सर।
all our comrades and friends. I think it's an emotional time when Thorat Saab ne pucha. He asked me to speak something about the Telugu or Adi-Andhra or Adi-Hindu in Hyderabad and Andhra Pradesh movement. So, I am very much understanding this problem, but as a student of social movements, as a student of Ambedkarite movements, whatever. But I think it was not only the Andhra movement. I think I am talking confined to Hyderabad, the Hindu movement. That is Adi-Andhra, Adi-Dravida Sanghas also was there at that time. Now I am confined to Adi-Hindu movement or Hyderabad Dalit movement, whatever. Those that time I think Hyderabad state was formed there in three parts of country: one Karnataka and Maharashtra and Telangana. That Telangana was a 10 districts, and Maharashtra, Aurangabad, Bid, Nanded, Parbani. Karnataka was Gulbarga, Raichur, and Usmanabad. These all including in that Hyderabad state. That's why in that moment we will find we were found a different parts of leaders. I told Thorat Saab ne ye 4 important leaders, one from coastal district Kusuma Dharmanna, 5. These are very I think we have to reopen them also. This is not enough to talk about. We have to do so many research is on these people. Except Sham Sunder. Sham Sunder was a graduate. He studied in Usman University. Then he went to UNO also. We went Thorat साहब नेतृत्व में हम दरबन गए थे। तो दरबन का पहले 1960s not 60s 50s का टाइम पे श्याम सुंदर ने निजाम डेलीगेशन में यूएन गया था। He went UN and he told he submitted a report to UN on that time. that type of personalities we found in Hyderabad. These I think Bhagya Verma, Base Venkat Rao, Sham Sunder, Arigye Ramswamy, Kusuma Dharmanna. These except Sham Sunder, there is no what is the formal education. These people, 4 people, they don't have any formal education. They studied in his whatever possibilities they got, they studied. But they did what they did. If you see their movement, I think now we are so many people are here, so many people in not only Maharashtra, not only Telangana, not only Andhra Pradesh. We have so much population of educated people, intellectuals, activists, and officers, politicians. We had so much. But I surprised so many times. We didn't do any concrete development activity for our community. I will start one thing. Bhagya Verma, there is no, I told previously, he didn't have any formal education. He started in 1910, 3 schools in Hyderabad. Up to 1930, it was went to 26 schools in Hyderabad city. In that schools, there is a girls' schools are so much. This is I surprised when I have read this. I surprised. Now we don't have any strength to do one school also. Then another important thing is he don't have a first. I will start with Bhagya Verma. He born in 1888 in Hyderabad. His family is a very poor family. They are workers in the somewhere the labor. His mother Rangamamba and Venkaya. Then he will see with his life. He went out from house. He went out from house and sometime his mother was scolded and something is this thing. He disgusted and went out of house. He joined in Britishers' house for a ball boy, some polo game, whatever games they will do. He served them in the house, whatever. They encouraged to study Bhagya Verma in English and whatever language. Then he joined as an electrical employee in the government. But he started, if you see, Ayotidas, Ayotidas from Tamil Nadu, Ayankali from Kerala, Achyutanand, Uttar Pradesh. The same time, Bhagya Verma, after I think Ayotidas, Bhagya Verma started in 1906. One small organization, Jagan Mitra Mandali. You see the name also the world-friendly organization. Jagan Mitra Mandali is a friend of world. Jagan Mitra Mandali started. That Mandali aim was to educate our community, educate these untouchables. That time they would have so much whatever misdeeds. They don't have any good ideas. They worshipped so many Devata, Devi. They sacrifice animals, whatever this thing. He wants to stop that. Then he propagate the things to educate your children, develop your children. This is not the way to this thing. Then 1912, he started Manya Sangam. So many papers, research scholars, they are writing Manya Sangam. Not Manya Sangam is a great association. Not like that. Manya Sangam, Manya is the name synonymous to Mala. When you Mala people habitate nearest the forest, Manyam is a forest. These are wherever they are habitating near to the forest, they called Manyam. That's why this is the old name of the Malas also is a Manyam. He started Manya Sangam. Manya Sangam started, then he propagated them, then he organized them. Then he is a very, very, what is the visionary. I mean, in my opinion, he is a great visionary. He started to organize in the form of so many things. With the Manya Sangam, after that, 1922, it is changed into Adi-Hindu Social Service League. Before that, I want to tell you one incident. In South India, we have a Adi-Andhra, Adi-Hindu, Adi-Dravida, Adi-Kannada. The Adi name came in 1916, 1917. But Adi-Dravida named before the Bhagya Verma, Rettamallai Srinivasan started in 1890s, Adi-Dravida. But that came propagated into after the Adi-Andhra. The 1931 census, they got into census Adi-Andhra, Adi-Dravida, Adi-Hindu, Adi-Kannada, Adi-Karnataka. Then one incident, what was the strength of the, what was the knowledge of, what was the personality of Bhagya Verma, this incident will tell us. In 1917, in Vijayawada, they had a meeting of untouchables. They named as a Rashtra Panchama Jatiya Sabha. Then he invited for that meeting as a chief guest or presiding. That time, I think every important person invited as a presiding person. Then he told first meeting in starting, we should not mention the Panchama. Panchama is a derogatory word. Panchama is not our identity. That's why we should not name any Sangam for the any Sangam this word Panchama. Then organizers immediately they changed. They started Adi-Andhra Mahasabha. That was the strength of the Bhagya Verma. Then he not only started schools, he started this exhibition, our artifacts, arts, and these handicrafts. Now we are in Hyderabad. All of us know in Hyderabad exhibition. Before Hyderabad exhibition, he started Dalit handicrafts exhibition. In that time, he told, when you got some economic strength, when you got some economic development, you will have a word, you will have a strength to command the society. Not only command the society, you will feed your children, you will grow as a independent body. That is second thing. Third thing, you know, this plague erupted in Hyderabad in so many times, 1910, 1945, 1917, like that. In that, he formed a Swasthya Dals, health teams. He and his people were roaming around the city and take the dead bodies and whatever they did, final rites. Then another thing is they gave him medicines to the whoever they suffering in that time. In that context, Nizam government gave an award to his services in that aspect also. Then another important thing is he had so many ideas. I will tell you another important thing is practiced by the Bhagya. So many our activists, our leaders, we cannot take any support. We cannot go to the whoever the friends of Dalits from the upper caste. We are not easy to accept that. But Bhagya Verma, he has a work with the mainstream organization. Even Hyderabad, in that time, a language, official language and education language, whatever language, is a Urdu only. In that time, Andhra Mahasabha came into existence. First Grandhalaya movement, the library movement, and after Andhra Mahasabha, this major demand was Telugu should be as an official language. Telugu should be taught and teach in schools or colleges, whatever. In that movement also he was participated. He participated. He spoken about our issues on that time, untouchables issues. In Khammam Mahasabha, his speech very powerful. We are the people. We are the people. They serving the society. You are not recognizing us. You are doing is a very harm to the society. Then that type of meetings, so many meetings he attended. He attended meetings and he organized a meeting. First, he started his religious thinking from Brahma Samaj, Arya Samaj, Brahma Samaj. Then he didn't accept and didn't practice that. Then he continued as a Buddha. From 1930, he celebrated every year Buddha Jayanti. Every year. Because of that, he had a social understanding, he had an economic understanding, he had a educational development thinking also. Then after that, another important thing I want to tell you, in those days, the caste panchayats, caste Nyaya Panchayat, whatever, the councils. That time also, Manne Sangam councils also, Mal Sangam councils are there. He organized that Sanghas as a democratic. He organized every issue, every dispute between the community, every issue between the individuals, they should go to the Panchayat and settle there. They should not go to the police. They should not go to other people to ask to solve this problem. Not that type of thing. He encouraged. I am seeing in this issue, this is also a very important thing is every panchayat, if you go to a police station, if you go to somebody upper caste to solve our problem, they will do not the solve the problem, they will do is the bigger they will not good, they will not harm the people between friends or between brothers also. That's why he organized it physically, he organized the socially, he organized economical things, he organized education, he organized the Nyaya Salah, whatever Nyaya Panchayat. That is the more and more the concrete and constructive work done by Bhagya Verma. If you come to Hyderabad now itself, near Chadargarh, near old city, if you go to the Chadargarh, you will see the Adi Hindu Bhavan. It's a big building, not big building, but it's a 2-floor, 3-floor building. आपको दिखता है. इसमें भाग्य वर्मा ने ये काम तो ऐसा किया था पूरा लोगों का. इसका बाद B.S. Venkat Rao ने आया, इसका बाद Arigye Ramswamy. These are B.S. Venkat Rao, Arigye Ramswamy, Shayam Sunder and Bhagya Verma. These are very close friends, but same time they are different works. They will do on their own. They will do on their own work, not in any this thing, not any confrontation. This is another important thing is if you see the national, he was a national figure. He was a national leader. If you see the round table conference का बारे में, round table conference को अंबेडकर को रटमलाई श्रीनिवासन को भिजाने के लिए एक मीटिंग 1931 और 32 में लखनऊ में हुआ था. ये मीटिंग को भाग्य 1931 दिसंबर 27-28 को डिप्रेस्ड क्लासेस मीटिंग हुआ था. इसको उन्होंने अटेंड किया. उसके बाद इसका मीटिंग के प्रिसाइड भी किया. ये मीटिंग में रेजोल्यूशन हुआ था अंबेडकर को रटमलाई श्रीनिवासन को राउंड टेबल कॉन्फ्रेंस मीटिंग के लिए लंदन भेजना. इसका बाद गांधी और रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर, सरोजिनी नायडू. गांधी came to his school. Once I think 1930s, 1931, he came to Hyderabad. Mahatma Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi ne, he visited Bhagya Verma school. Then Rabindranath Tagore, he is very close friend to Bhagya Verma. Rabindranath Tagore ने एक मीटिंग कलकत्ता में ऑर्गेनाइज किया. उसके लिए भाग्य वर्मा ने हैदराबाद से बुलाया. सब ये पर्सनालिटी. There is no formal education, nothing even economic. There is no family background, but he did enormous impact on the Hyderabad movement and Dalit. This is a Bhagya Verma contribution. This is a, I think, because of that, so many legislations also came. If you see the Jogini, Morali in the Karnataka, Matangi somewhere, then these the three parts in Hyderabad state. Because of three in Jogini, in Karnataka they called in Morali. This is the एक act ने निजाम ने enact किया था वो time. Then these are Arak ban, then intercaste marriages. These all are happened in that time. This is the Bhagya Verma impact. But he 88 to 1930, I think he died early time. I think 50 years, or not more than that. 88, 98, 50 years he died. Then if you see this movement impact, if you see he started 2-3 papers. He started Bhagyanagar Patrika. He started Gautam Buddha magazine. I think before Ambedkar movement in Hyderabad, they are very, very, very constructive movement happened. After that, you will see the B.S. Venkatrao. Next we have to go to B.S. Venkatrao. B.S. Venkatrao also there is no formal education, but he was working as a labor, working as a veteran in the R&D engineering works. Then he worked with Bhagya Verma. Then he worked with Ambedkar also. He came to Bombay so many times because this Hyderabad movement, I think, very close to Maharashtra movement, very close understanding of the Maharashtra movement. These because of that, the contacts with the Ambedkar movement after 20s, whatever Ambedkar started movement, then that time also very close relations with the Ambedkar movement with the Hyderabad movement. These B.S. Venkatrao also born in 1898, December 11th. He studied only 8th class. Then he joined as a recruitment. That time 8th class also is a great thing. He joined as a recruitment officer in Nizam Sagar project. Then he resigned that job and he joined as a contractor. Because of this movement, he resigned it. Then another important thing is he started his work with the Bhagya Verma movement, then is a very another dimension of this thing. There is no political ambition, there is no political personality from the Bhagya Verma. He's the only social reformer. He was an intellectual. He was a social reformer. He was only thinking for the community development. But B.S. Venkat Rao, with these all qualities, then he was a political element. He was a political leader. He started his career as a corporator. Then he started so many demands and so many movements for the demands of the untouchable communities. Then one aspect, one important thing I want to tell you. In 1936, May 30th, बॉम्बे में एक फर्स्ट महासदस्य वो इसका गेस्ट के साथ आया था. अंबेडकर खुद इसका वेलकम किया था. In that meeting, so many speakers praised of B.S. Venkat Rao as a Hyderabad Ambedkar. That time that was the very important recognition for the B.S. Venkat Rao. Then he worked, he organized so many people. He demanded on that time, 1940 December 10 को 10 demands का साथ एक मेमोरेंडम भी निजाम गवर्नमेंट को दिया था. इसमें स्टूडेंट्स को इंटरनेशनल एजुकेशन भिजाना, scholarships देना, then this is the land reforms, whatever things in recruitment, reservation, he asked so many things to the government. In that, the Nizam government, he started political reservations also in that time because of the B.S. Venkat Rao demand. Then another important thing I want to tell you, in 1947, Layak Ali was a prime minister, B.S. Venkat Rao was a education minister. He gave a 12 lakh rupees to the Baba Sahib Ambedkar, started this Aurangabad Marathwada Aurangabad school, this Siddhartha school. These all relations, these are with the what is the Maharashtrian movement and with the Ambedkar. When so many times Ambedkar came to Hyderabad, because of these 4 districts of Maharashtra in Nizam state, Ambedkar also is very concerned about the 4 districts. Then sometimes so many times comes to Hyderabad and met with the Nizam, and he gave so many memorandums to the Nizam government also. Another important thing, and the sacrificeness, what is the selflessness of the leaders. Now we don't have that type of leaders. I will tell you one incident of B.S. Venkat Rao. In 1947, the Nizam government decided to give a scholarship to the untouchable community. That time, scheduled castes are depressed. There is no money that time in the Khazana, Nizam Khazana. Then Layak Ali told B.S. Venkat Rao, you will organize some money, then we will give after whatever we will get the money. Then he has a 10 buildings in the Hyderabad. घास मंडी में 3, मारवाड़ी बस्ती में 2, जीरा में 4, न्यू बोईगुड़ा में 3, 4, 12 houses. So many buses he had. These all he mortgaged to the Marwadis to take a money to give the scholarship our students. But what happened, 1948, September 17, this Indian government occupied the Hyderabad, arrested so many people, including B.S. Venkat. Their government collapsed. this money didn't come back. His house is totally gone. I met his wife 10 years back, 15 years back. She alive. They lived, the family lived in 2 rooms. That type of sacrifice of our B.S. Venkat Rao leader is a very, very, very proactive and very active man in the movement. He had so many activities that I will take so much time will take. That's why I will not go into that. This thing. This is another important leader is the Shayam Sunder. You know, Shayam Sunder also, he born in Aurangabad. His father was in railway, and when the family came to Hyderabad, they settled in Hyderabad. But Shayam Sunder, another towering personality, he had a different ideas. I think Bhagya, Shayam Sunder and B.S. Venkat Rao politically is the same line. But B.S. Venkat Rao with the Congress, Shayam Sunder was with the Socialist Party like that. Then Shayam Sunder, he studied as a student of University of Hyderabad. Then he started so many movements. He's not only Dalit movement, he gone with so many social movements. And another important thing is 2 things I think important things I want to tell you. He advocated the Dalit Muslim unity. The another important thing is he started minorities movement in that time. Minorities movement was a very, very peculiar idea. But whoever minorities like Muslim, Christians, Sikhs, Buddhists, whatever, against the upper caste, against the Hindu caste hegemony, Hindu caste atrocities, Hindu caste, these things. That was his idea. Because of that, he traveled with the Nizam. He traveled with the Muslim organizations, whatever this. Then another important thing is he propagated it very, very active in the militant movements. He is not a social, he is not a general social movement. He is a very militant. Because of that, after independence, he started Bhim Sena. You know, in 1968, he started Bhim Sena there. Before that also, he organized the Dalits to resist to act to protect ourselves. That was his idea to all things. I told first in my speech, he went to the Security Council. He told the Security Council, very important, he was given place honor everywhere as the true representative of 60 million untouchables. He gave 3-4 names: untouchables, unapproachable, unseeable, unshadowable. He is very, another important thing is he also propagated. He also this thing like Ambedkar. He was a very, very prolific writer. He wrote so many books. So many books against the we are not Hindus. They burn like that. If you see the he started idea of Mool Bharati also. Now so many people are this thing. Another important thing is he organized Periyar Ramswamy, Faridi, Bante Badat, Anand Kaushalyan in one stage. That is the Sunder this thing. Another important leader, Arigye Ramswamy, is a follower of Ambedkar, friend of B.S. Venkat Rao and Shayam Sunder. Is another different person. His ideas is very different because he advocated the marriages should be happen between the scheduled castes, even Mala, Madiga, even something. That's why he belongs to Mala community, but he organized Arundhatiyas as a Madigas. That was his another personality. That's why he propagated, he advocated Mala Madiga unity. They are all scheduled caste, whoever in the list of scheduled caste, whatever we should unite. Then his very idea is to have a intercaste marriages, against the Jogini, against these animal sacrifice, whatever they are doing, that time is a very high. That's why another important, he was also minister in the after independence. This another fifth person was the Kusuma Dharmanna. Kusuma Dharmanna belongs to coastal Andhra. Coastal Andhra that time was in Madras presidency, Rayalaseema and coastal. But the Kusuma Dharmanna so many years stayed in Hyderabad. He participated in the movement. He went to the coastal area. Then even coastal area also very important personalities worked. Even Bemla, Kurmaiah, other so many individual persons. And another important thing is Hari Ambedkar went to Amalapuram. That is another area of operation. Then Bhagya Verma and B.S. Venkat, Ramswamy, they also went to the coastal Andhra, then Rayalaseema. That was the understanding of the Telugu people. But these the four people concentrated in Hyderabad, Telangana, and Gulbarga and Aurangabad. These are Kusuma Dharmanna concentrated. Kusuma Dharmanna basically poet. His poetry is very popular. We don't want a black Dora hegemony. Then another poet belongs to some Brahmin community. He wrote we don't want white Dora Pettanam. Then he reversed that word. He started that poem, that song was very popular in those times. That was the basic things. And another important thing I want to tell you now, Dalit word. I surprised Dalit word in 1948. In 1948, when our nation started Dalita Jatiya Sangam. After that, we have seen Dalit Panthers only. In between, there is no Dalit word. This is a word first used in 1948 in Hyderabad, Dalita Jatiya Sangam. These are all very, very innovative, very, very different types of understanding movements. And our nation's constructive happened in the Hyderabad movement. I think again it was merged with the Ambedkar movement after 30s. After 30s, Ambedkar movement also is very active in Hyderabad, Scheduled Caste Federation, Indian Labour Party. All those organizations came in Hyderabad, in Andhra Pradesh also. So many people elected on Scheduled Caste Federation flag or party symbol. That was the very active movement. I think I will conclude with the two words. We have to see these movements is a basically independent movement. There basically is a not in political thing. This is not an enactment. There is no demand. Up to 1930-35, there is no demand to enact something, to demand something. But Dalits should develop on themselves. We should develop our own legs. We should develop our own economy, our own education. That was, I think, I very much impressed. Nowadays, what is happening, every issue we are depending on the government. We are demanding on the government. Government is doing government this, government that do government. This should give government that. That should. This is yes. We should demand. We should get it. We should not any innovation that I am not against. But there is no independent. There is no our own development thinking, our own development planning, our own development understanding. That is, I think, now we are lacking. I must, every time I remembered Bhagya Verma as that type of personality. We should develop our own. He started schools, he started exhibition, he started health teams, he started our own moral, our own cultural things. He started these our own panchayats, our own settlement between dispute settlement. That this is the thing every community should take that attitude now itself. That's why Bhagya Verma is a very, very different personality in the Dalit movement. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Dear friends, today's speaker, Mallepalli Laxmaiah, explain everything in details. हमारे पूर्वजों का इतिहास अगर हमने नहीं जाना तो हम कैसे आगे जा सकते हैं. उन्होंने भाग्य रेड्डी के बारे में जो बातें बताई, about he has started in 1910 3 schools and about 1920 he has developed 20 schools and more belonging to girls. And now lastly also he has explained, can you start our schools? We are totally dependent on everything to dealt by the government, but all the he has given the informations about the Arigye Radhesham, Kusum Das, Venkat Rao, Bhagya Reddy, Sunder. So this is very important information, and they have the problem was at that time also. There was no government support at all, but they have developed their own, they have created, and they have created the history and they have created the path for us. Thank you, Mallepalli Laxmaiah sir. Very detailed information you have given. Actually, we are not aware about this all informations about this all. Your social worker at that time and in close relations with Dr. B.R. Ambedkar about the foundation of Siddhartha College. Mr. Venkat Rao given 12 lakhs rupees at that moment and he has started the college. Very, you have quoted that one also, round table conference, depressed classes movement in 1931. Bhagya Reddy was taken apart. He was concrete and constructive. Very nice, sir. Very nice. And definitely our delegates are our listeners. They will attached with you and they will benefited by your information and thankful to you. Now I will request Dr. Thorat sir for his presidential speech. Dr. Thorat sir, please.
Yeah, friends, you have listened to Mallepalli Laxmaiah and very realistically taking person by person, he has described their contributions and also brought out the differences between them. And I think we got a reasonably good idea about the movement in Andhra Pradesh. So I would not like to repeat it. He concluded by saying that the Verma really focus on the self-development, starting school, starting various organization. The others use the participation in politics, occupying a position as an instrument for the development of the Dalit, giving memorandum, asking number of policy measure on the part of the government. Then there are others who, because during the Telangana movement, during Hyderabad struggle, there was the insecurity for Dalits, so Bhimsena came up. So you have four leaders with a slightly different perspective, but come from the same tradition. I think it is a very good account that he has given. So people will ask question, but let me ask one clarification or question, Mallepalli, that Verma, as early as 1920s or earlier, talk about Buddhism. It's very interesting that he referred to Buddhism. I think in Tamil Nadu also in early 20s there was a Buddhist movement. P.N. Narsu wrote that book, Essence of Buddhism, which Baba Sahib Ambedkar republished it and wrote a forward. So I think I have a feeling that there was some Buddhist movement in 1910 or 20s. Then it disappeared. What do you think that what was the inspiration or source of talking about and taking Buddhist activity to Verma? Was it because of Nagarjuna and that tradition of Andhra Pradesh was a source of inspiration for him, on which you in fact are working now?
Sir, I don't have any that type of information. I think you have rightly said Lakshmi Narasu wrote Essence of Buddhism.
Yeah.
He is a Telugu professor, but he settled in Chennai.
Oh, he was a Telugu professor.
Telugu person.
He was not Tamilian.
No, sir. He is a Telugu person.
Okay.
He is a Telugu person. He was settled in Chennai. Okay. Then Ayodhyadas, I think before that Ayodhyadas influence are also there. In Hyderabad, another important thing, sir, that also we have to find out this thing. Tamilians are more in Hyderabad, sir, in that time.
Okay.
Because of this Secunderabad regiment, the British regiment in Hyderabad, the Musi north side, Musi was the Secunderabad. That was only the British regiment. So many Tamil people are in that time. Adi-Andhra Sangam also are there. This influence, I think, came from Tamil Nadu. That's why I searched for the Rettamalai Srinivasan in 1893. He started Adi-Dravida concept. Bhagya Verma, he spoken in 1970. But influence, I think, was there. We have to find out the links where find out. But I think I am today or yesterday I am thinking that they have some influence on Bhagya Verma. These are two officers of Britishers. I think they also help him to get some information, discussion, this thing. I think that was also there. Another important thing, sir. Sir, I forgotten one thing. He had a good contacts with the progressive Hindu intellectuals. They had so many, even High Court judges also. One interesting thing I want to tell you, I forgot it. One Balamukunda Rai was a High Court judge. He's very close to Bhagya Verma. He wrote a will to his family. After death, my body should not belongs to my family. My body should give to the Bhagya Verma Adi in the service lane. They will do my final rites. They will do my funeral. You should not do. Like that, he told, he wrote in the will, and he told on that time, 1,000 rupees should give to them. They will do all those things. He should not do. He had so many contacts with these people. I think I learned as a person, I learned this type of relations also should help the Dalit movement. If we are here, they are there, we should have a very gap between these. This is also very another, even Ambedkar also got help, got support from so many people. But he got a support is very need, and because you don't have that type of education, you don't have that type of exposure. But all those people, I think so many people around him are supported him that was also one aspect to his activities.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Thorat, sir. Thank you, Laxmaiah, sir. Sir, friends, now you have here many things, many beautiful things, and इतिहास के पन्ने आपके सामने लक्ष्मैया सर ने खोल दिए, और इतिहास के पन्ने खोलने के बाद में किस सिचुएशंस में हमारा ये मूवमेंट चलते आ रहा है, किस सिचुएशंस में दलित मूवमेंट चला है, किस सिचुएशंस में हमारे सोशल रिफॉर्मर्स ने ये काम किया है, आप जान गए हैं. तो डेफिनेटली यू विल हैव सम क्वेरीज, यू विल हैव सजेशन, प्लीज आस्क ओपन माइंडेडली. और सर आपको इनसाइट और ले जाएंगे. सर का एक्सपीरियंस इतना वास्ट है, और उनका थियोरेटिकल एक्सपीरियंस नहीं, उनका प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपीरियंस नहीं, एक्सपीरियंस जो कि आपने फिल्म के 2 मिनट का जो आपको दिखाया गया है, वो सर के थॉटफुल डेवलपमेंट का पार्ट है. उन्होंने गवर्नमेंट के साथ मिलकर जो किया है वो थॉटफुल डेवलपमेंट है, और डॉक्टर बी आर अम्बेडकर के विचारों से और बुद्ध के विचारों से प्रभावित है. तो मैं आपसे सबसे गुजारिश करता हूँ कि आप सीधा सवाल डायरेक्ट कर सकते हैं. आप हिंदी में पूछ सकते हैं, सर हिंदी में जानते हैं सर हिंदी, और आप इंग्लिश में पूछ सकते हैं या चैट बॉक्स में लिख सकते हैं. प्लीज करिए. पुष्पा थोरात मैडम, डॉक्टर पुष्पा थोरात, आप सुन रहे हैं मुझे? पुष्पा थोरात मैडम, आप सुन रहे हैं मुझे? सर अपन डिस्कशंस के लिए मैं कुछ आपके सामने रखता हूँ. इट इज नॉट ए क्वेश्चंस डायरेक्टली रिलेटेड टू दैट, बट एट दैट टाइम how they are creating their economics, how they are creating their funds and all these things. जैसे आपने ये बताया, मतलब you have explained that Bhagya, Reddy and then Verma, they have started 3 schools initially in 1910, and they have developed in 10 years 26 schools. How they are running their schools and which were source of finance and all these things at that moment.
I think that's why I told you now this. His relations with the other communities are very strong. In sometimes individual people supported, sometimes even Nizam also supported, but it didn't depend on any individual or any government. That is, he wants to do something, he mobilized it. That is important. I think every year or every for individual work, how he got the money, we don't know, but we don't have any information. But he decided to work. He decided to build something. Then he mobilized things, because I have a idea. These people who were there, Hindu upper caste intellectuals or businessmen or high court judges, other people, they supported things. I think they supported in much level. Then in that time, even Nizam, 7th Nizam, I think he was also some liberal way. He supported. I think that is. I am telling one thing. Initiative in his hands. Initiative not by others. He wants to do something. He wants to do some exhibition. That was his idea. Then he mobilized it. He started some these Swasthya Dals, health committees, whatever, health groups. Then he mobilized the people. He supported something. That who supported him, what way they supported, I think we don't know, but we have to, if there any this thing, we find out. not that I am not any information.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Sir, what is the present positions about the education institute and all these things? Now,
And now, after that, these schools run by, after his death, the schools took by Nizam. Now only one school is with the Adi in the service, social service league. That still this committee is running.
are the Andhra in having some schools belonging to Dalit personalities are running by them?
Now,
Andhra, Telangana.
Now.
No. Present relevance. What is the present relevance?
Now, not any.
Nobody is coming forward to open that.
No, now any significant thing. Here and there somebody is doing, but not that level. The government in Telangana, what is happening is the government is more and more. What is the developed schools they are running? They are running residential schools. The government are spending 1,20,000 per head every year. Because of that, I think how to go another way, but people are not thinking. That is
Dr. Thangraj have some questions. Any support from colonial states like that in chat box? Can you read it? Or should I read you?
No, sir. Nizam, I think Hyderabad was the under the Nizam. In coastal Andhra, I think that was another topic. That's why I didn't touch with that. Hyderabad under the Nizam, not only Hyderabad, your Aurangabad, be it Parbani or Nanded, Parbani, Bid and Aurangabad was also in Nizam rule. Nizam only is the head of thing, and the colonial government not yet support anything. I didn't any incident. I can't express.
Professor Gautam Kamble is here. Dr. Kamble sir from Kolhapur. Solapur. Professor Gautam Kamble. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, here.
Yeah.
Yeah, audible,
Please.
sir. Yes.
Please. Professor Gautam Kamble. But what is your views? We have here some, good information during the lecture.
Yeah.
Have you some queries or your views?
No, there is no queries. Views are similar, no problem. So, because it's a very good information, which is beneficial to everyone.
I think nobody is coming forward for questions now. No queries.
सर विमल थोरात मैडम की कमेंट ले लीजिए.
है चैट बॉक्स में.
Yes, sir.
Please, I will take it.
Can I read, sir?
Yeah. I am finding out.
Okay. विमल थोरात मैडम. Yeah.
हजारे जी, मुझे एक और सवाल है.
मैडम प्लीज कम फॉरवर्ड. या प्लीज.
लक्ष्मैया जी ने अपने दलित लक्ष्मैया जी, मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
आ रही. Thank you, madam. Thank you. I am very much happy to see you.
You have mentioned the Dalit word was first time used by one of the organization in Andhra Pradesh. This is a very important information for me, because we always thought that Dalit word has come from Dalit movement, not Dalit Sahitya movement, Dalit literary movement in after Dalit Panthers. So this is a very new information for me, particularly regarding the Dalit word. And there is another thing which written by many writers from Maharashtra. Most of the writers are from Dalit Panther, and they are very active in the movement. They gave the definition of Dalit word from Ambedkar's quote. Ambedkar's quote, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar used the Dalit word first for the depressed and oppressed people. And then it became very common in Maharashtra as a Dalit. जिसका दलन हुआ है, जिसको ऑप्रेस किया गया है बहुत सालों तक, बहुत हजारों वर्षों तक, ऐसे लोग जिनका दलन हुआ है, जिनका दमन हुआ है, जिनका शोषण हुआ है। तो हम आज तक यही समझते रहे हैं कि इसकी बुनियाद महाराष्ट्र में रखी गई, और वो भी दलित पैंथर के बाद। तो ये एक बहुत अच्छी इंफॉर्मेशन आपकी तरफ से हमें मिली कि आंध्रा आदि द्रविड़ा मूवमेंट में ये सबसे पहले शब्द इस्तेमाल किया गया।
दलित जातीय संघ in 1948.
Thank you. Thank you. And this is I think I will read one. Our struggle for emancipation written by P.R. Venkat. It was published in 1950. This is a very interesting book about Hyderabad Dalit movement. In that 504 chapter, 539 page, you have seen the political rancor of the leaders of All India Depressed Classes League reflect in bitter charges, counter charges, and Gwalior Bihar conference presided over Dharma Prakash and H.J. Khandekar, respectively. After his failure to Gwalior, Dharma Prakash maneuvered start an organization of his own under the name Dalit Jatiya Sangh.
Yeah,
he had an iron liberated Hyderabad. This is I think this book is a very
or Telugu.
Our struggle for emancipation.
Okay. Our struggle.
I will send to you, madam.
Thank you.
Hyderabad Book Trust published here on Hyderabad. That's why I sent to you 2-3 copies. It's a very important book to know about Hyderabad scheduled caste movement, whatever movement. Very detailed incidents, events, leaders. So much 600, 700.
I will definitely bring this book and read.
Thank you.
Still, many people they are taking the objections on Dalit words. Why you are using Dalits? Some titles we have used in our webinars also, but some people they don't want to hear Dalit words. Okay, sir. Thank you. Shura madam.
Jevim ji.
Jevim madam, can you comment something?
Okay.
Yeah, for all the times we are here. Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to congratulate Mallepalli ji for such a beautiful, lecture, and it was very informative. And you said something in the beginning about, Dalits being represented in the United Nations. Could you just elaborate more on that? Or I don't know. I wanted to know more about, that thing, that aspect. Yeah. Thank you.
I think they in 19 this delegation from the Hyderabad government went to PNO. In that delegation, Shayam Sunder was the one of the member. Then he represented the communities in the Security Council. He was I will read. Ramsundar was a part of delegation in the UN Security Council. He is the first post-independent adversely addressed the UN Security Council. He is also representative of the 9 million defense classes. Then he spoken in that Security Council. That was the information in the Shayam Sunder writings and Shayam Sunder life. He was another important thing is, Chavenlai, all those international leaders, friends to Shayam Sunder, got in US Security Council meeting. The one once Chavenlai, that Chavenlai was a Prime Minister of China, I think. He came to Delhi and he asked Nehru to, I will meet Shayam Sunder, he is in Hyderabad. The Nehru sent a flight, whatever, he wrote it. Then Shayam Sunder went to Chavel and met him in Delhi in the presence of Nehru, all those things. That is the international connections he had in that time.
That was in which year? I went to Security Council.
I think 52, 51. I will.
Is it being documented?
There's a document.
Could you give me the book's name and where it is being documented?
I will send to you. I will send to you.
Right.
Okay. I will get connected, madam. I will send.
I will send to you immediately.
Yeah. I will take from Laxmaiah sir, and I will take because Laxmaiah sir is closely related with the Nagloka. Now we are thinking about that medical project, and we have discussed all these things about that. So we will get it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
There in the chat box question from Thangra sir.
Again, yeah.
Again, yes. Please read, sir.
I think it was in They Burn. Book name is They Burn. THEYBUR. They Burn. Madam.
Yes. Okay.
They Burn by Shayam Sunder.
By Shayam. Right. Thank you so much.
Sir, Laxmaiah sir, there is one more question from Dr. Thangaraj. What is the legacy of those great leaders to the present day Dalit politics?
It is the
what happened
to BSP? It's a big question, sir. I cannot answer in 1 minute, half minute. It will be a big question. You have to think about all of us.
Yeah. Dr. Thangaraj, you may have discussions with Mr. Laxmaiah because you are very nearer, both of you. Okay?
I greatly appreciate his lecture, and there is a close connection between Maharashtra and Telangana region. Also, there is a close connection between Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh. These leaders, closely, work together for the liberation of, Dalits. But what to the economic development of the Dalit is an important question, be it Andhra Pradesh or in Maharashtra. Their position is still, vulnerable. Whether these leaders have taken up any issue to those ruling government, be it Telangana, be it this Nizam government or colonial government, or after independence, many governments have started programs, but these programs, have given very little impact on the lives of the Dalits or scheduled castes. This I need some clarification why these Dalits still, lag behind others despite, several programs initiated by government even before independence, after independence. Just I want some, feedback from you.
Yes, sir. I think I'm not that much of competent to say, but my opinion is my experience, not opinion. I am not an expert. I am my experience. The things are not worsened day by day in different countries. You are right. Because of that, society development is going one direction. Our development, our thinking goes another direction. That is my understanding. Then there is no committed leaders, many leaders to work for the people. That is the second reason. I think, in my opinion, I have three obstacles for Dalits. Basic obstacle, basic problem is antagonism of the society. If you see any act enacted by the governments, any scheme started by the governments, any program started by the governments, the schemes, programs and acts fully not implemented. There is so many problems will arise. Mainly this system of, I will tell you one example. In Telangana, Dalit Bandh started in October, November last year. Then in the villages of the upper caste, mainly agricultural landed people, they started against the government. They said, they said in the villages, if they got the 10 lakh rupees per family, they will not work in our fields. They will not work in our agriculture area. They are Rajas. They are this thing. That's why they defeated in Huzurabad elections of the government candidate. And like that, so many these things. Second obstacle problem is with our middle class, like us, like me. There is no concern. The indifference. We are developed. Our family developed. That is enough. Nobody, so many people not concerned about our community. Third thing is what is happening in the field. They don't know rural and urban poor people, our masses. These three things are is continuous hunting our development. If we say, I had an experience with the bureaucracy in the time of enactment of Subplan and Special Development Fund Act. I quarreled, I so many arguments with the officers, finance secretary, chief secretary, O secretary, A secretary. They are not interesting. They are not happy with that, whatever their government doing. They will do harm in any time. They will not implement in a correct way. Another important thing is this the time, our middle class, our youth, our students are not realizing what is happening. Is the mechanization, all those artificial intelligence, the computerization is a very, very hard hitting of the Dalit families in future. We are not realizing, we are not recognizing the problems we are facing in future or now itself. I think these are all problems are culminating to obstacle our development. Then this is my idea. If so many issues are there, political leadership not correct, other intellectuals are not, so many intellectuals are not attending the issues. Sir, I will tell you one example of the record. Sir, of the record means we have I think Thorat sir, he knows very well. In Andhra, Telangana, we have 1,000 odd professors and assistant professors. How many people are doing research? How many people are working for our cause? How many people are thinking? No? Thorat sir, बहुत मालूम है उसका क्या all India level. Not only professors, even police officers, even IS, even IPS, even Group 1 officers. In Andhra Pradesh, in United Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, now in Andhra, we have 5 lakh middle class employees. 5 lakh, 500,000. What are they doing? Now some realization is coming. It's a good, but if whatever expecting, whatever the need, we are not meet the need from the middle class. Sir, this is my experience and my 30-40 years. I think experience with as a journalist, as an activist, I had so many discussions with the other people. I think
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You have to think about it.
Yeah. Now I think there is no more questions. I will turn to last program, that is the vote of thanks. Nicely delivered lecture by Laxmaiah sir. Now I will request Shubhangi, can you hear me? Shubhangi?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shubhangi. Now I request Shubhangi Khandare. She is a student of political science, Rashtrasant Tukolji Maharaj University, Nagpur. She will put the vote of thanks. Shubhangi, please.
Thank you, sir. Jai Bhim to one and all gather here on this wonderful event. I am Shubhangi Sunita Pravesh Khandare, would like to present the vote of thanks. I hope you all have enjoyed the Association for Social and Economic Equality organized by Pre-Independence Adi-Andhra Anti-Caste Movement and its contemporary relevance, role of reforms, Bhagya Reddy Verma as Venkat Rao, Shayam Sunder, Arigye Ramswamy, and Kusuma Dharmanna Kurmaiah webinar based on this topic. I take this golden opportunity to thank the respected chief guest of this webinar, Padamshree Professor Sukhadeo Thorat sir, former chairman of UGC and ICSSR, New Delhi, and the president of ASEE. He made us aware on his important thought on this topic of today. He introduced the webinar topics very easily on the behalf of all us. I express my gratitude to him. Thank you very much, sir. Honorable Mallepalli Laxmaiah, sir, Chairman of Center of Dalit Study, weekly columnist in Sakshi newspaper, the respected speaker of the today's webinar, put forth his important thought on this subject very smoothly. Sir, with your thoughts, we got to know about Adi-Andhra movement, Hyderabad movement, found in different types of leaders, given 4 leaders not get formal education, but they fought against a social issue and Dalit issue. He told all the detailed information about the 4 leaders. He told that Manya Sangam concept, Adi Dravida, Adi Andhra, Adi Hindu, Adi Karnataka, as well as told Madhya Mahasabha, literary movement, Kannam Mahasabha. He told about Rashtra Pancham Jatima and also Pancham Court or Council. In 1930, Bhagya Reddy Verma promoted Buddhism, as well as sir told that in 1948, the Dalit Jatiya Sangha, the word Dalit firstly used. This all information is talking about the contemporary relevance. We are really enlightened with your knowledge and presence, sir. Sir, you delivered an interesting lecture to us on the behalf of the association. Thank you so much, sir. I also express my gratitude to Honorable Professor Vimal Thorat ma'am. Under her efficient leadership, we constantly get brief information and knowledge of thought on the various new subjects or topics. Thank you, ma'am. Introducing the speaker of the webinars, Honorable Dr. Praveen Khadse sir, he gave a detailed introduction. Thank you so much, sir. I express my gratitude to Honorable Shuddhodhan Sir, Aman Kamble Sir, Shura Ma'am. Thank you. Similarly, every Sunday webinar is done successfully and efficiently because of Dr. Trilok Hajare Sir, Professor Vidya Chourpagar Madam, and the Dr. Gautam Kamble Sir. They always make important contribution in readiness. Thank you so much. I also extend my heartily gratitude to Honorable Dr. Trilok Hajare Sir for conducting this webinar. The important feature of this webinar is that the question answer session in each webinar is very enthusiastic and very logically. I thank all those who have created the healthy atmosphere of this webinar. Thank you all. In the same way, the success of the webinar comes from the participants who gave us energy. I express my thanks to all the participants. It is only with your cooperation that the association gets its ability to work. May such a cooperation be received always from you. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mallepalli.
Sir Hajare sir, unmute करा.
Shubhangi, thank you very much. Nicely conducted here. And next time you prepare for the conducting the program, I will request you to conduct the program of this, because all young people, they should participate and they should conduct the program. And Laxmaiah sir, Nagpur आप कब आने वाले हैं?
सर आप पहले बुद्धवाना आ जाइए ना.
हाँ बुद्धवाना तो आएंगे, अभी रुताइश
बुद्धवाना हम तो मिलेंगे. आप पूरा हमारा